Okay guys, so let's continue our conversation on the Stage 2. I'm just going to cover some stuff that I didn't cover in the first video, and if you haven't seen the first video, I suggest you go and see that, and I'll put it up here somewhere now for you. But if you have seen the first video, then there are a few things that I didn't really cover, and they were really to do with the sort of power and the torque and, you know, the bike and everything else. So if we talk about the bike quickly and where I was before I got the Stage 2, obviously I had a Stage 1 to begin with, and that was a Two Brothers 2-in-1 competition exhaust with a Screamin Eagle extreme flow breather, and I used a Dynajet PowerVision map to achieve the numbers that I achieved. Now, if I talk about I just wanted to quickly talk about the 2-in-1 exhaust. Harley told me, and I've done a bit of research, and it's true, that if you're trying to get the best and most power out of your bike, a 2-in-1 exhaust is the way to do it. It's to do with the way that it scavenges the gases out of the engine and pulls more fuel in, or allows more fuel into the engine, and that with the cam on top really does make a huge difference. But yeah, with the 2-in-1 you are going to get more horsepower, more torque out of your bike than you are if you say put short shocks or something like that on it, just because of the way it pulls the air through the pipe and out of the pipes. So that's one thing to consider, guys. Also, the map itself. Now, for the Stage 2, same as the Stage 1, I didn't auto-tune. Harley, actually, I've got quite a good relationship with Dynajet, and the guys in my dealer, they spoke to the guys at Dynajet direct and got this specific map for this bike, with the breather, with the Two Brothers exhaust, and with the new cam. And with, you know, I've got just to add a little bit extra, I've got the Screamin Eagle spark plugs and the Screamin Eagle spark plug cables, which do obviously make the bike run more efficiently. So that's where the bike is, and this map is an absolute legend of a map. It really is running really well. This bike now is running absolutely superb. No misfires, no backfiring, none of that sort of stuff. It's just perfect. And so I highly recommend that you get a Dynajet if you're going to think about doing any tuning to your bike, and try and get the guys there themselves to do it for you, because auto-tune works well, and there's nothing wrong with auto-tune, but I know that this map is specific to this bike with all the bits on it, and it is working, you know, like a dream. So let's talk about numbers a little bit. So there's the stock Harley, the stock Street Bob, starts off with around 78 horsepower, and forgive me, I forget the torque, but I think it's around 100. Now with the Stage 1, I didn't put this on the dyno, but I know a guy who did. He's got exactly the same bike, same breather, same pipes, everything, and he got 94 horsepower, so that's quite a huge step up from the 78, and 104 torque. So again, that's quite a bit for just some pipes and a breather. Now it's gone up again. Now again, I haven't put this through the dyno, but I've looked up online a load of Street Bobs with a 2-in-1 exhaust with this torque cam Screamin Eagle, and they're all reading basically the same. So now the horsepower has gone from 94 to around 98, and the torque has gone up from 104 to around 108 to 110, and you can feel that difference, guys. you know, you're only talking to 4 or 5 horsepower and the same in torque. But honestly, I mean, if you went from a stock bike to a stage 2, you would be like, what is going on, you know? And I can still feel the difference now. It's got so much more power to it, so much more pull, you know. The acceleration has increased so much, and that's where you really feel the difference with this stage 2, is the acceleration. It goes from 0 to 60. I mean, you've got to keep that, it's hard to keep that front wheel on the ground, and it's really difficult to stop that rear wheel from spinning out on you. And let's face it, acceleration in a motorbike is where you want it. Oh. Well, that was 6th gear, up a hill, 90 mile an hour in seconds. You know, it's completely changed this bike, and I know it's only a few horsepower we're talking about, but those extra little horses have really improved the performance of this bike. Now, God only knows what a stage 3 or a stage 4 would do to this bike. I mean, it would be insane. And you know, I'm happy with this stage 2, don't get me wrong, but it would be very, very interesting to see what a stage 4 especially feels like on this bike. So that's about it, guys, really. I mean, I said it in the first video, I'm super happy with this bike. The amount of difference it's made to the bike now. I mean, I mean, if you had drag bars on this bike and forward controls, my god, I mean, you've got yourself a semi-racing Harley. I mean, it's such an aggressive bike now. And you know, it's amazing to think how such a small change in your setup can really increase all that power, and you can really feel it, guys. You can feel it underneath you. That engine is just purring. But guys, there's not really much else I can say. It was just to add that extra little bit to it, because I know you guys will probably ask me these questions anyway. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. There's plenty more to come from Street Bob Vlogger. Hopefully the weather improves a little bit. I can get out on some different bikes, and we can start reviewing some bikes and comparing them to this. And I've got a few little bits that I've got to go on this bike that I'll show you in due course when they get here. But for now, guys, please like my videos. Really appreciate everything and all your input that you've got. And if you haven't already, and you're interested in ride reviews and stuff on this bike especially, then hit that subscribe button. And guys, I will catch you next time. Street Bob Vlogger. Woo!